Hello students, how are you all? This is Anup sir, your English teacher. Students, in this video, we are going to learn how to write a formal letter. So students, we live in a world of technology-backed communication. Emails, texts, etc. are most of our preferred modes of communication. However, letters still have a major use and importance in our society. Especially, formal letters are written to authorities or professional contacts because they generally stay on record. Let us learn the correct format and language of formal letter. Students, a formal letter is one written in a formal language and follows a certain format. Such letters are written for official purpose to authorities, dignitaries, colleagues, or seniors, and not to personal contacts such as friends or family members. A number of rules must be followed while drafting formal letters. So, let us take a look at a sample format of a formal letter. Students, when we write a formal letter, we need to follow few steps. So, when we start writing a formal letter, at the top left side of the page, we write the sender's address. Sender is the person who writes the letter. So, the sender's address is usually put on the top left hand corner of the page. The address should be complete and accurate in case the recipient of the letter wishes to get in touch with the sender for further communication. After writing sender's address, we write the date. The sender's address is followed by the date just below it, that is, on the left side of the page. This is the date on which the letter is being written. It is important in formal letter as they are often kept on record. Students, after writing the date, we leave one line and then write the receiver's address. Receiver is the person who is going to receive this letter written by the sender. After leaving some space, we print the receiver's address on the left side of the page. Whether to write to above the address depends on the writer's preference. Make sure you write the official title, name, position, etc. of the receiver as the first line of the address. After the receiver's address comes the greeting. This is where you greet the person you are addressing the letter to. Bear in mind that it is a formal letter, so the greeting must be respectful and not too personal. The general greeting used in formal letter are sir or madam. We can add respected sir or respected madam. If you know the name of the person, the salutation may also be Mr. XYZ or Mrs. ABC. But remember, you cannot address them only by the first name. It must be the full name or only the last name. Students, after the greeting comes the subject of the letter. Subject is the sum up of the whole letter. So, after the salutation or greeting comes the subject of the letter. In the center of the line, write subject followed by a colon. Then we sum up the purpose of the writing the letter in one line. This helps the receiver focus on the subject of the letter in one glance. After the subject comes the body of the letter. This is the main content of the letter. It is either divided into 3 paras or 2 paras. If the letter is brief, The purpose of the letter should be made clear in the first paragraph itself. The tone of the content should be formal. Do not use any flowery language. Another point to keep in mind is that the letter should be concise and to the point, and always be respectful and considerate in your language, no matter the subject of your letter. After body of the letter is the closing the letter. At the end of your letter, we write a complimentary losing. The words yours faithfully or yours sincerely are printed on the left side of the paper. Generally, we use the letter if the writer knows the name of the person. After closing the letter is the signature. Here, finally, you sign your name and then write your name in block letters beneath the signature. This is how the recipient will know who is sending this letter. Students, formal letters may include letter to the editor, application to the principal, business letters, letter to the government officials, that is complaint letter, letter of inquiry. Now students, let's have a look at the format of formal letter. As I told you earlier, when we write a formal letter, we have to follow the steps that are necessary to write a formal letter. So here, when we start writing a formal letter, at the top, on the left hand side corner, we write the sender's address. Sender is the person who writes the letter. After that, we leave one line and write the date on which we are writing this letter. After that, we leave one line and write the receiver's address. Receiver is the person who is going to receive this letter. After that, we leave one more line and write the greetings. Always remember, this is a formal letter, so your greeting should be formal. Never use dear. You have to write respected sir or respected madam. After that, we leave one line and write the subject. Subject is the sum up of the body of this letter. Subject is something which tells the reader what this letter is about. So, in short, he comes to know what this letter is about. After that, we start writing the body of this letter. Body can be written in 3 different paragraphs or 2 different paragraphs depending on the length of this body. Then we conclude this letter. After that, we close this letter by closing and putting our signature. In closing, we can write your thankfully, your sincerely, your obediently, your faithfully, and after that we sign. And below the signature, we write our name in block letters. So, this is the format of the formal letter. Now, students, let's take one example of formal letter to have a better understanding. So, students, here is a question given. Let's read this question. Write a letter to the editor of Times of India complaining about the nuisance created by the use of loudspeakers. You are Arun Sharma, a resident of 15th Vasundhara Enclave, New Delhi. Now students, let us try to understand this question. When you write this answer, the answer to this question, you will be Arun Sharma and you will be living at 15 Vasundhara Enclave, New Delhi. Alright, so you will be pretending as Arun Sharma in this question. You, as Arun Sharma, are fed up of loudspeakers near your society. So, you want to attract the attention of the concerned person who can solve this problem. So you are writing an article in the newspaper of Times of India so that concerned person can see this problem that the people are facing. All right, so you start your answer here as, first of all, as I told you, on the left hand side top corner of your page, you will be writing the sender's address, the person who writes this letter. So, you are the person who's going to write this letter. You are Arun Sharma. So, you will be writing your address, which is given in this question itself. So, the sender's address will be 15 Vasundhara Enclave, New Delhi 110096. All right. After that, I told you to leave one line and write the date. Okay. So you will be writing the date on which you will write this letter. So you can write as 18th August 2020. Remember that you don't have to write the date, DATE. You do not have to write that. You just have to write the date on which you are writing this letter. After that, you will be leaving one line, and that you will after that you will write the receiver's address to whom you are writing this letter. So you are writing this letter to the editor of Times of India. So the address which you have to write is to the editor of Times of India, New Delhi. All right. After that, you will leave one line and write the greetings. As I told you earlier, this is a formal letter, so you will have to use the words which are formal. Here we can write as respected sir or madam. We are writing both because we do not know who is the editor of Times of India. He's male or female, so we write both. It will be understood by the person. After that, we leave one line and write the subject. So subject of this letter will be regarding the indiscriminate use of loudspeaker. This is your subject. And after that, you start your body of this letter. What will be the body? Let's read this body of this letter. I would like to draw the kind attention of the concerned authorities towards the indiscriminate use of loudspeakers through the columns of your esteemed newspaper. Now, what are you trying to do? You are trying to attract the attention of the concerned person, let it be the municipal corporation or the government authorities. You are going to attract their attention towards your problem, and that is the reason you are writing this article in the newspaper. All right. So, nowadays, the use of loudspeakers at religious places, political gatherings, marriages, etc., have become a very common sight. The organizers of these events do not bother to turn off the loudspeakers after the stipulated time. That means many times we see that many of the functions, or let it be garba or anything, the people use loudspeakers even till 2 o'clock at the night, that is 2 a.m., which is not right, because there are many people who sleep at night, let it be children's or students who have exams the next day. All right, so this is not right. So in a lot of cases, the use of loudspeakers continues till late in the night. This creates a lot of nuisance and disturbance for a lot of people, especially students and senior citizens. I would want the authorities to look into the matter and put strict rules in place. They must ensure that the use of loudspeakers does not continue after the stipulated time is over. Their efforts in the regard would be much appreciated by one and all. So, here we are requesting the authorities to have a look at this matter and to solve this problem. All right, we close this letter here, and after that we use the closing, that is yours truly. At the point of the signature, we put our signature and write our name at the bottom of this letter in block, that is Arun Sharma. So this is your formal letter. This is how you write a formal letter. All right. So you have to follow these steps of writing this letter. Everything of your letter should be on the left hand side of your page. All right. Just have a look at this letter. I'll be sending you the PDF of this formal letter. All right, which you have to write down in your classwork. So students, this is all about this video, this lecture. This is Anup sir saying thank you and goodbye.